Peace and great blessings, everyone. Welcome back to my channel. If you're new, please like and subscribe. And today is Wednesday, April 13th. Ramadan Mubarak out there to everyone who celebrates Ramadan. And this is the beginning of a really auspicious sacred season for a lot of people who practice different religions. I know that Easter is coming, as well as Passover, and if you know my Israelite family, the Pesach holiday season, and it's going to be and then there's also Ramadan for the Muslim community. So it's just a really auspicious time of year, and it's the spring, new beginnings, full moon is coming. So it's a lot of change, a lot of good energy, a lot of good vibes, a lot of exciting developments taking place right now, energetically and on our planet. So I want to say welcome to everyone that is joining us this evening. Thank you for tuning in and listening to Ask the Herbalist Hour. Waiting on our co-host, King Ade, who should be joining us any moment now. Last week, we spoke about the journey of the healer, or what it is to become a light worker, or to answer the calling of a light worker. If you feel so called, or there's a pulling in your heart to be a light worker or an energy healer or a spiritual healer. And as many people are hearing that call and responding to it. So we started talking about that last week, and we're going to finish the discussion on it today. Now, a spiritual healer is someone that holds a very high regard and a high status in traditional and ancient communities, and especially indigenous communities, because this person is someone that helped the community heal both spiritually, mentally, and physically. They also had knowledge of herbal medicine and traditional medicine practices. And they also were someone that was consulted during times of crisis or times of need, when there was some issues that would come up and they needed a solution to it. They would consult with this person. So they not only did physical and mental and spiritual healing, but they also helped the community. And in times of crisis and other, there was someone that their guidance was sought and highly revered. And they would often, be consulted and called on to solve different issues. And this person, it was someone that can access higher dimensions of reality. And in so doing, they would use this access to these dimensions and this ability to tap into higher frequencies or other frequencies, so that they could use that knowledge and that information and those higher vibrations for healing. So that's basically what a spiritual healer does. It's a person that can access higher dimensions, higher realms, and the knowledge and the wisdom that they get from those dimensions, they use that for healing. It's a person that can travel beyond the veil, as some people call it, a person that can access other dimensions of reality. And this world, we often speak of the dimensions as if they're separate and entities or separate places, which is kind of the way we've been trained to think, that things are separate. Because sometimes you hear me say things like the spiritual world or spiritual realm and the physical. And although it seems like they're separate entities, they really are not. The spiritual world is just a finer, more subtle frequency than the physical reality as we know it. The physical reality is more dense, more heavy, at a slower vibration. And then the higher you go energetically, or the speed that you are, when you go to a higher frequency, you're in other dimensions. And so all of them are real. All of them are different aspects, if you will, of reality. It's just that some are, they're just different. So there's no, I know we say higher, but higher as in the frequency is higher. So it's not like the different realms or dimensions are layers one on top of each other. That's not correct. They're kind of like intertwined and intersect with each other. And occasionally you have, glimpses into each one or experiences into each one. And the only difference is the frequency. Um, Higher dimensions vibrate at a higher, faster frequency. Lower dimensions vibrate at a lower, slower frequency. So that's really the only difference. I often get asked questions like, is there life after death? Which is a really deep question. And I love having discussions about things like that. Peace and great blessings.
Peace and love. Peace
Peace
and
and
love.
love to you. Thank you. Thank you. Welcome. How's your
Uh,
day going, King Ade?
it is going well. It is going well.
That's good. Yes, today was a great day for me as well. So we I just opened up, the floor talking about spiritual healing, because this is the second part of last week's discussion where we talked about answering the call of the healer or the spiritual leader. So I just started talking about that, and when you joined us, and I was talking about how it seems like one of the most popular questions that I get is there life after death? And I know we've been trained in the Western thinking of things as separation, like, the difference or
Yeah.
separation between the physical world, quote unquote, and the spiritual world, or different dimensions. And I was saying that they're not layers one on top of each other, they're intertwined.
Ashe, Ashe.
Yeah.
So that's amazing that you say that
Why?
because no, so I'm starting a quote unquote church, a temple of the divine
Temple.
spirit.
I
Yes,
like
I'm
that.
starting a temple. So I'm starting a spiritual temple, which
Hmm.
and I'm writing a book that's kind of like a companion guideline to go along with the thought process and the concepts of the temple of the divine spirit.
Give thanks. I like that title too, Temple of the Divine Spirit.
And the four major overarching concepts that is the lays the foundation for everything that is spoken about.
Hmm.
But the first things first, and that's the name of the book, First Things First.
That's the name of the book, The First Things First.
First things first.
I like
First
that.
things first, a guide to prioritizing God, self, family, and community in today's
Mm,
age.
in today's age. I like that. That's like a guide, but like you said, like a guidebook or a self-help book.
Yes.
Hmm.
So, first things first is self.
Hmm.
That's first things first. That's because that's what the first thing you're starting with. You're seeing everything, you're perceiving everything through yourself.
Yes.
But the more you get to know about yourself, the deeper you look inside self. Man, know thyself. The more you know thyself, you know that there's something more than just your flesh within.
Yes.
What do you find if you look deep within yourself?
The deeper you search, you find God,
Ashe.
the God
You
self. Yes.
you will find God. If you search deep, you'll find spirit. You
Hmm.
will find the only thing that comes before the first things first, which is the one.
Mm-hmm.
You, I, the one, self. Only thing that comes before self is zero.
Mm-hmm.
No thing, no physical thing. Spirit, God, energy, kundalini, ka, ba, ki, chi. Call it what you want to call it.
Mm-hmm.
God,
Mm-hmm.
spirit, zero, no thing, but everything.
Mm. It's deep.
So, knowing that is just the first things first. Knowing that connection
Mm-hmm.
that, you can find God anywhere in this world. You can find God in the Bible, the Quran. You can find God anywhere you look for God. But the only way to truly know God is to know God through one, I,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
self. If you don't see divinity through your own self and actions, you don't truly know God. You're just seeing God through the words of the Bible, the Quran, or whoever is guiding you
Mm-hmm.
in affairs of the Spirit. You're seeing God through the pastor's eyes. You're seeing God through the imam's eyes. You're seeing God through everyone's eyes. But the most important eyes to see God through is I, self. I have to
Mm.
be able to see God in my own life. I have to see God move the obstacle that was immovable, like do the miracle that like it's not even possible. How can it be possible that I am still alive? It must be some type of miracle.
Mm-hmm.
I've seen God work his magic. Spirit, no thing, no physical thing could have made it happen.
Yes.
There's some mountains that no physical thing can move.
Ashe.
That no physical thing is everywhere. It's omnipresent. It's everywhere. It's all powerful. Has the energy to make anything happen.
Mm-hmm.
And it has, because it's all things, it knows all things because it was there for all things.
Mm-hmm.
So when you got that type of spirit, that type of God on your side as your eye in the sky, being the head and looking out for you and setting the path for you and looking ahead and giving you knowledge of what's before you, come on. All you have to do is learn to be a good follower. So that ties back to what you were saying. We have to learn how to be spiritual leaders, but first we got to learn how to be spiritual followers.
Mm.
We got to learn how to follow the lead of spirit within us by knowing
Yes.
spirit through ourself in a first person point of view perspective. We have to see God through our own eyes
Yes.
to truly know thyself. Because how can you see God as something that you're a part of, a spirit that's within you, if you don't see it through your own perspective and only see it through everyone else's eyes? In the
Mm.
Bible's eyes, in the Quran's eyes, in the pastor's eyes, in the imam's eyes, the most important eyes to see it through is I.
Mm.
One, first thing first, self.
I self-law and master. That's right.
Ashe.
Ashe. Now the question, life after death. I hear a lot of people ask. Well, that's a popular question I get asked about. Is there life after death? And what I would say is, life is all there is. It's a continuous cycle, and it's the expression of divinity. And life doesn't end. So there's that concept of life after death. It's a continuous cycle. it's not linear, it's cyclical, and it just keeps going, right? Because life is energy, energy is spirit, is one and the same. And so what is happening when someone actually when we say somebody passed away, what is actually dying and what is actually living?
Ashe. So that's Ashe, that's what we were tying in, I guess, in this whole thing. Because it
Mhm.
looking deep in us, we see that we're spirit. So we see that what
Yes.
came before us in this life
Mm-hmm.
was we were a spiritual being before we were this physical being.
Mm-hmm.
So we came in from a spirit into physical manifestation. And that's
Yeah.
how everything happens in our life. It happens spiritually and then it
Yes. It
physically
descends
appears.
into physical manifestation. Yes.
Ashe.
I say.
So when we ascend out of physical manifestation, it's literally like you're an angel, this light being, this spirit,
Mm-hmm.
that the cords that bind you to this physical flesh have been cut, and you're now allowed to fly freely
Mm-hmm.
out of your body. And where do you ascend to? Now, this is a question that a lot of people want to know. And I feel like a spirit, the universe is expanseless, and I feel like a
Yes.
spirit can go where a spirit wants to
Wants to
go.
go.
But I
Yeah.
feel like you're going to go wherever your energy and love attracts you, wherever people are thinking to you. That's why
Mm.
spirits might stay around their family. That's
Yeah.
why spirits might go to Mecca. Some spirits might go, like, I'm sure there's different gathering places in the spiritual world for common unifying spirits that believe the same thing. Like, I'm sure all the Buddhas and the Bodhisattvas be around each other just chilling and
Mm-hmm.
just having these spiritual talks. Sure, the chess masters all there playing chess together. I'm
Mm-hmm.
sure Bruce Lee is sparring right as we speak.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, I just know that you in the spirit world is like even more freer than we are as of right now. But I guess right now, as we're informed, we're able
Mm-hmm.
to have the self-discipline of just being informed, being in one place. Because as a spirit, you could be anywhere, like you're as fast as thought.
Mm.
If I think I'm in Africa spiritually, I'm already there.
Ashe.
The moment I thought of Africa, I was already there in the spirit. Now it's just when will my flesh manifest there.
Mm.
And now you got some shamans from way back when that was manifesting their flesh rapidly,
Yes.
like, you feel me? They
You're
thought
right.
they was in Africa. Next thing you know, they pop up right next to you in Africa.
Right.
You feel me?
They could teleport with just in an instant.
Ashe. You feel
Mm-hmm.
me? So it's definitely levels to this spiritual ascension. And the more trials and tribulations you go through, you got to stand with God and let God guide you through. Obstacles are going to come. I hope y'all never think there's going to come to a point where life is just no obstacles, because then that would
Mm-hmm.
defeat the purpose. We
True.
gonna go through obstacles. We gonna be tested. We gonna be tried. There's gonna be
Mm-hmm.
trials and tribulations. But you are serving the Most High. You
Mm-hmm.
are a servant of the Most High. You are an official of the Most High. When your boss is the Most High, how you gonna act? You feel me? When people be having
Right.
Apple as they boss, so they be having, I'm hired by Verizon and all this. That's cool. They be very proud of who is hiring them to do their job.
Right.
You know,
Right.
they be proud. They got that pride for their job and their status of being a part of Amazon. I am an Amazon delivery official. You feel me? They feel official.
Right.
So when you serving God, how you gonna act now? How you really supposed to
Right.
feel?
Right. The greatest boss in the universe.
You feel me? The only boss that always understand, overstand, understand, and is in the stands cheering for you.
That's right.
You feel me? The only one. Everybody else, every other boss I had then had some stuff with them. So a servant of God,
Mm-hmm.
self-employed, and a servant of God.
Ashe.
Could I ask for any more?
Yeah, and God's never going out of business. Never,
Never going out of business.
never goes into recession or depression
No,
or none of
you
that.
feel me?
Right.
God, we praise him more in the recession, the Great Depression. We praise
That's
him everywhere we see him. We pray because God is everywhere. You got to, but you have to know
right. Mm-hmm.
and identify God in the room.
Mm.
Because God be in the room with you and you don't even know. God be like, I hope this you catch on and you pay attention to the now and you see the opportunity in front of you. You
Mm.
see the opportunity to connect for the greater good of my spirit, to connect on my, because I'm sure God's always in the room. We
Mm-hmm.
just gotta find them. We just decide to address everything else in the room but God, because that's what we seeing with our eyes, but we're not seeing with our godly eye. We're not, closing our eyes and meditating and focusing our mind, training our thoughts on where God is in this moment. Because if you just ask yourself, where's God in this moment, you'll find God somewhere. And if you don't find it somewhere outside of you, you'll find it somewhere within you. And the
Mm-hmm.
God within you will start becoming the God outside of you.
Give thanks. Yes.
Ashe.
Ashe. So the question, life after death, is just a continuous cycle. There's no ending of it. One, in a sense, I mean, is the physical is what's really, like you said, with spirits having a human experience,
Yeah.
or this is just a vessel for the spirit. So that continues to go on, and um, so there's a saying that we learned in science, if you could speak on that, and that is energy is neither created nor destroyed. It just moves or changes
Ashe.
shape. What do you think about that?
I mean, I thought it was a common law of the universe. So I
Hmm.
was always taught that energy can neither be created nor destroyed,
Hmm.
that matter is always shifting form. And
Yes.
even our body decomposes, the mushrooms bloom and blossom from our decomposing body. And those mushrooms, someone can eat them and it gives them the energy to revitalize them and heal the sick. And it's a cycle. I feel like we're just
Hmm.
energy, but the energy just transmutes. I mean,
Mute.
but I feel like our spirit is an energy body that is able to travel the astral plane. So that's the angel concept. We got the wings and we can fly and we can kind of go where we want to go in the spiritual,
Mm.
and still be ambassadors for God, even on the other side, and still coming and dropping. Now we the messengers, just like how spirits and ancestors are working on the other side for the greater good of us to help us along our journey.
Hmm.
I'm sure when we on the other side, we're gonna be going on mission for our children. Like, oh, she want that job? Oh, spirit, fly in. You feel me? Swooping down and saving the day for our family and friends on
Hmm.
this side. So then it's like we get to exchange because our ancestors that ascended, we know they showing love to us. You can
Oh
feel
yeah.
them. You can feel they love. You feel me? And so when we ascend, we gotta show love back for our descendants.
Hmm.
Ascendant, descendant. We ascend, we show love for our descendant. As the descendant, we show love for our ascendant. That's
Mm.
the cycle.
Yes, the
Uh,
ancestors in the womb, they say, is one and the same. We just keep coming
yeah,
back.
we recycle energy as we're building along this astral plane. So we're coming back better because we're coming back and we're able to download and process more of all the information and downloads from our ancestors faster. Because I'm still a young one, I'm only 28, and
Mhm.
downloads coming like spirit is speaking to me. You
Mm.
feel me? And it might have took some of people a little bit further. And then there's people getting it even younger than me. You feel me? My son look like he already get it. So who knows? You feel me?
Hmm.
So that being said, we gotta attend to the things that really matter in our physical nature because we
Yes.
understand that we're having a physical experience right now. So attend to what's real in our physical nature. What is real in our physical nature is plants have symbiosis with us, so it's the best
Mhm.
fuel for us. That's real. Energize yourself. Eat to live, not to die. If you eat things that you have to kill, you're eating a killing diet and it will eventually kill you.
Yeah.
If you're eating things that have life still in it, that are green and has energy, solar power in it that can fuel you, it will give you more life so you could do more living for a longer period of time. That's
Mm-hmm.
just the pure facts of it. You know, it's it's simple biology and botany at that point, you know. So that's the physical. Take care of what you breathe well, deep breaths, abdominal breathing, diaphragmic breathing, stomach breathing, call it what you want. When you
Mm-hmm.
breathe in, your stomach blows up. When you breathe out, your stomach
Mm-hmm.
contracts in towards your spine. In and out. Best way to breathe. Take care of what's real. You know, breathing well, drinking water. I asked someone what's the best thing you could take to live in a ceremony the other night, and what they told me is water and love.
Mm-hmm.
Put some love in the water, drink the water.
Mm-hmm.
Pray over your water, put love in your water. There's other things you could do. You could put crystals inside your water. You can, you know, there's minerals that you could put inside your water. Take care of the bare minimum of this physical existence. Drinking good water with love in it, breathing,
Mm-hmm.
gratitude, connection with yourself, and knowing the Spirit of God that came before you, that is you, that you need to connect with.
Ashe.
Ashe.
Good answer. Good answer. Welcome, beloved Hadia. Thank you for joining us. Now I wanted to ask you. Now we've answered the call to be spiritual healers. How did you know that this was your life path or your soul's objective or purpose? Because you're fairly young. You still fairly young.
Yeah.
And most spiritual heal, not well, I shouldn't say most, a lot of them is not until they reach a certain age of chronological age where they will accept this calling, or they even know that it is a calling. It's like, but you answered the call and heard it at a much younger, tender age.
Yeah.
So you want to share how you knew that this was it for you?
I would say God just divinely guided me through this path, because
Mhm.
first things first, I jumped off the porch at a very young age. I started doing a lot of things at a very young age. So I would say I just started living earlier. I
Okay.
was reading at a very young age, like reading big books, urban novels, and fictions at
Mm-hmm.
5 and 6. I love reading because I fell in love with the concept of reading, because I could read something that was, you know, hood or something that if I was watching on TV, adult would probably come in the room and turn it off. But because I'm reading, the adults in the room will always say he's such a smart boy. Look at how big that book is that he's reading, and
Mm-hmm.
not care anything about what the contents of the book were saying.
Mm-hmm.
So that always, you know, I was like, okay, my mind is just expanding and exploring through books. And so just being able to do a lot of things at a young age. Started working in my mother's restaurant with the family at like 5 years old. Was already peeling potatoes and doing
Mm-hmm.
things, you know, always keeping my hands busy, keeping my mind sharp.
Very good. Okay. And so was there like a series of events that let you know that this was the path, or
Yes, it
did
was
you have a,
like,
did you have a big aha moment?
oh yeah, so it was a lot. So going to church, there was pastors that said, because I was kind of a little troublesome as a child, you know, I was very expressive of how I chose to just do things. I don't know, I just lived differently. So the pastors used to say he's going to be a pastor one day. He's ordained to be a pastor. And, there, when someone's has a great destiny ahead of them, the demons will attack them while they're young so that
Mhm.
they never can really reach that, so I
Mhm.
never become what I'm destined to be. So he used to say I was going to be a pastor. And I was like, yeah, I don't think so. I play for other side because I was running around. I was running reckless. I wanted to run the streets. I wanted to, have fun and just do different things. I never, from what I saw of what a pastor was, it didn't intrigue me to say that's what I'm going to try to be. And
Mhm.
now I'm opening up a holy divine temple. Look at God. Look at God. Look at God.
Look
You
at
feel
God.
me?
Yeah. So
A
their
complete
words were
360.
prophetic, huh?
Exactly. A complete 360.
Yeah.
So, getting incarcerated, learning about theology, learning about religion in a whole lot of different ways, learning about spirituality. So prison was one of the major, I would say, one of the major turning points in my spiritual belief because I was able to separate myself from everyone and everything that was usually in my ear telling me what to believe and just see things through my own eyes clearly and
Mhm.
read. I already like to read, so I was already in the good space. I could be in a cell for hours just reading.
Mhm.
And I was studying theology, learning every religion because I wanted to see what was it. Because I grew up in a Christian household, but my grandfather's household was Islamic, and he also believed in Sufism as well. So I wanted to learn as much as I could about why they say only this people could go to heaven, only this people could go to heaven. But I got people on both sides of this, and I want to see all my family in heaven. So what is we talking
Absolutely.
about here? So God already gave me a revelation, said, do not use my name for any division.
Mm.
God is the God of multiplication. Do not use my name for any division between religion through spiritual systems. None of that. Like,
Right.
because we're all praying to the same universal spirit.
Yes.
And it's the spirit of love, and everybody's trying to use this name for division, saying we only got claim to this name, but we all got a claim to this name because this name and this spirit is our birthright as being spiritual beings on this plane.
Yes.
So nobody got no claim that's no higher than the other person, and that's why we are equals. So all that supremacy shit go out the window when we get there, because we're
Right.
all equals,
Mhm.
and we all have a claim and a right to the spirit of God that works through us and allows us to manifest on this realm of existence.
Absolutely.
So, our spirit is a moving Kaaba energy vehicle that is moving through this physical vessel right now, and one day may move in a different way, shape, or form through other things, whether through trees, whether through wherever it moves. But we are energy, and we are always going to be living in some form, shape, and capacity. So, there is no real death. There's
Mhm.
only the physical death and the ego death, which is the ego is the sum total of the 28 years that I've been alive, and even that 9 months while I was inside my mother's womb before I physically manifested out into the earth and air.
Mhm.
So that right there is the ego. That's where the domain of the ego is. That's the sum total of what you learned, the music that was played while you was in mama's stomach, after you came out of the stomach, the things you watched, things you heard, the environment you were in, the
Mhm.
movies you went to, everything. Everything that surrounded you and built you up and was your breeding ground up until this moment right now is what you have inside of you, and you can either project it forward or reject it. So you have to go digging in your past and declutter all of that and deconstruct everything that you went through and either affirm it and say, I want to go forward with this in the future, or rejecting it and saying, No, I want to leave this in the past. And if this same situation comes up, I would rather go about it this way. And then you put into the future what you will want to do in the present from a healed mindset and a healed state of being of what I would do now to go forward into the future in a better light.
Ashe.
Asheo.
Ashe. Very good. What are some of the challenges as spiritual healers that we often face? Do you find this as like a challenging lifestyle, or do you just embrace this as just, it is what it is? Or how do you approach it? To me, it's like a great honor to be able to help people in ways that um oftentimes people have illnesses or things and they feel like there's no cure, there's no hope for them, there's no help. And to know that they can tap within and tap into a higher source and find answers and find healing, I think that's a great honor to be able to help people with that. What do you think?
So that is a heavy question and it weighs heavy on my heart because I feel both ends of that extreme, like literally.
Hmm.
Like there's times where I'm like, life is what it is, go with the flow. It's just all a part of this spiritual journey that you're on. And I'm somehow at peace in that, at peace with that. Anything that comes and goes is just as it is meant to be in this life's journey. And then as a healer, as someone that helps people to heal, helps people to fight against anything that they're going through. My thing
Hmm.
is, my motto is anything that you're going through, if you're ready to address it, I will help address it with you. I will stand right beside you and we will fight this thing.
Hmm.
All I need is for you not to run on your own problem that I'm going into battle with you on. Don't run and leave me with your problem. We
Hmm.
gonna fight this thing together. It's your
Hmm.
problem, but we gonna fight it together. And I ain't gonna run on you, but don't run on me.
Hmm.
So that's what I go into it with because I know that we all have trauma, we all have things that we have to unpack, and some things are heavier than others, and we got to
Yes.
go in and we got to go in ready to fight. We got to go in ready to project something to the future or reject something that we don't want this anymore in our life cycle and cast it out of our cycle because our life is literally like a spinning cycle. Think of it as
Yes.
a sphere of energy, a orb.
Yes.
And there's things like there could be negative energy. Just think of lit up red dots of negative energy that's caught up in a vortex of green loving energy that's supposed to be radiated green and fresh. And there's just red spots in there that's just, that is
Hmm.
negative energy bouncing around. So we have to find those negative energy points, those triggers, those traumas, those habits. We got to grab them all up, pull them out the spirit. Ugh, no, we don't want this in our life anymore. Get
Hmm.
out of here. Stay away. Go into the nearest tree, down through its roots, into the earth, down to the core of the earth, and burn in lava and magma for the rest of eternity. That's what we got to say. Go away and disturb me no more, evil spirits.
That's right. Get thee behind me, Satan.
Get thee behind me, far, far behind me.
Hmm.
Far, far in my past, and make sure that I forget not. So I now know how to deal with Satan in the future when he does pop his head up, like he will again, because obstacles going to arise again. But the Spirit of God will arise in you again, and you will
Hmm.
overcome the obstacle over and over again. So that's why you have to stay connected with Spirit, because Spirit will help you and give you everything you need and everything you need
Hmm.
to get over any situation. And as I'm a healer, I'm just here to help and guide you to know that God got an answer for you. There's
Yeah.
nothing cannot be solved. As long as you're still breathing, you can find peace, you can find solace, you can find salvation. God got an answer for you. We
Ashe.
just got to listen for it, and we just got to address what's going on in your field to get your field back to a cycle, a healthy cycle. Look at the wind. Look at spirit. Look at spirit. Spirit,
That's
like,
the
don't tell him too
ancestral
much.
answer.
Don't tell him too much. Okay, okay, okay. Spirit said, calm down, calm down. I don't give him all the, you can't give him everything. This is YouTube Live. Can't give him everything. Calm it down. We're not going to get too metaphysical up in here. We
No,
going
we
to
need to, because
we
that's metaphysical,
I
beyond
should
the physical.
we done started the conversation. We done started the conversation. They either gonna say he right on point or he talking crazy until they Google a few of the words I use, and then they gonna be like, oh,
Oh, that's what he was. Yeah,
oh, that's what he, okay, cool.
very good.
So yeah, the healing journey, it's hard for me because the thing is, even when I find these points of peace, I either have to practice detachment, where it's like I'm at a point of not caring what's going on around me, just so it doesn't hurt me when I see like my people still dying, babies still crying, queens hurting, kings in jail. Like, I'm it could drive somebody crazy as someone that's a healer and believes in God and believes in, love, and believes in all these high principles, because I feel like, why can't they be healed? Why can't they be who they were destined or ordained to be? Why can't they be them? Reflections
Exactly.
of the Spirit of God. Why
Exactly.
can't they? And the reason is because they don't know thyself. Well, who gonna tell them? God smacked me upside my head. You tell them.
Yes.
God
Because
smacked me upside my head. See, you tell them.
yes, healing is really about self-awareness. It's a higher form of self-awareness.
I say.
Yeah, so often when people recognize that they're in need of healing and they feel broken, or they feel sad or depressed or lonely or sick or whatever, they have a sick self-concept, or a lonely self-concept, or a depressed self-concept, or a downtrodden self-concept, or whatever it is. Or they'll say, I'm in, you know, whatever, this kind of person. They have a negative self-concept of themselves. And so with healing, they learn who they really are, that they are a light being that has, I guess, forgotten who they are. And as they remember, they give birth to this new awareness of themselves. And that is the part of that's their healing journey, really. Is really you're learning who you are and what your soul purpose is. And so you're creating your own new reality.
I say.
I say. All right, King. Well, thank you. This has been very enjoyable and always a pleasure to be in your presence, always. And many success with the temple. And what's the name? It's going to be the Temple of
Temple of the Divine Spirit.
the Divine Spirit. I like that name. I like that. That says a lot. It speaks volumes. And this is going to be a virtual temple or a physical temple, or both?
Both. It's going to be a virtual temple. So
Yeah,
the thing
thanks.
is, it's going to be a temple that is all around the globe, because we have temples all around the globe, because the temple of the Divine Spirit is I, the one, self. I am the temple of the Divine Spirit. I am the temple that carries around the Spirit of God within. You are a temple of the Divine Spirit. So we have temples in Africa. We have temples all over the world.
Give thanks.
And so it's going to be virtual in that sense, that we're connecting from all over. But there is going to be a missionary temple where we're pretty much carrying out the mission of God in our life through the talents and experiences that God have given us, and the things, the traumas that God has shown us that we need to speak up against, in our communities, because we're not the only ones that suffered them. We're
Mm-hmm.
not the only ones that are still suffering from these things. There's still people suffering from these things, and the
Yes.
best people to speak up against these things are the people that actually went through these things. But the best people that are able to speak up are the people that are inspired by the Spirit of God that they have found within their own body, within their own flesh, within their own spirit. They have connected with the Spirit of God, and they are the most empowered to speak up with truth and with love on the topics that have afflicted them throughout their life experiences.
Mm. Give thanks.
Ashe.
Ashe. Ashe. Very good. All right. Well, thank you, King. And we look forward to next time we can build together. Thank you, everyone, from listening and watching. If you have any questions, you can contact us at my website is astrohealingarts.com or at ogun.fitness on Instagram for King Ade. And next week, we will be here same time, 9 p.m. live Eastern Standard Time for Ask the Herbalist Hour. If you have any questions, please come prepared to ask your questions in the live chat. You can also ask them on the Healing Cipher Show Instagram page, and we look forward to finding answers for you and finding some solutions. Ashe.
Ashe. And peace and love, family. So we are on some missionary work right now, and we both have families who we love and who we are supporting as we are getting this information to you, as we're connected with spirit and bringing these downloads down. So we ask that we do accept Cash App donations through Astro Healing Arts and Face the World on Cash App.
Yes.
And we do have websites with products that we sell, and we do have consultations that we give out, and
Yes.
we do have healing analysis, and we do have health analysis and nutritional plans and all these other great things that we would love you to tap in with us about, because we doing these things for y'all. We try and heal y'all. We try and make sure y'all straight. You feel
Yes.
me? We're doing all this work to learn the right knowledge to feed our families and the people we love the most in the world right, and keep them healthy and keep the COVID away, because the COVID got everybody scared. So you got to keep the vid away, So
Yes.
we making sure people immunity is high through the roof with this
Yes.
mineral water and with this sea moss and with all this stuff that we got with these herbs. We
Yes.
have told y'all about 1,000,000 herbs already, and we got more for you. You just got to tap in with us. Please,
Yep.
please, please. We are working hard for y'all, so tap in with us to encourage us to work even harder. Y'all got to
Mhm.
encourage us to grind harder. If y'all not participating in this process, if y'all not, sending $1 Cash App, it's not about the amount. It's about the fact that y'all sent it. Y'all sending
Mhm.
us energy. Y'all sending us love.
Yes. Yes.
And the same thing with the products. If you need something and you're coming here to tell us about your problems, and we have products that address these problems on our
Mhm.
website, come shop with us.
Yes.
Come shop
Indeed.
with us. Support, because we try to
Support.
support you. We're
Yes.
going to find more ways to support you. We want you to find more ways to support us so we can grow together.
That's right. Ashe. Yes. Support black owned businesses, support small businesses. King and I both have our own small businesses. So
I
yes,
say.
support us, purchase our products, give us some encouraging words, testimonials. We both do healing consultations and readings. We also do health analyses, like he said, and nutritional counseling. We both he's also a personal trainer. I'm also a yoga teacher, so we do a lot to help people, like you said, get your body right, get your mind and your spirit into harmony, and also keeping your immune system strong, keeping your health well every time of the year, not just during flu season. So continue to take the products and drink the alkaline water and the things that we sell to help keep your body healthy and strong. Even though it's spring now, don't think that now you can start slacking up on your diet and on your exercise routine and start eating whatever you want and doing whatever, whatever you care to do. You got to still keep your body healthy and strong. And what you put in it now is going to give you the end results in the next few months when the season starts to change again. Shay?
Shay, and one little thing on that is right now that the sun is starting to shine, go out and get inside the sun, because right now is when you get
Yes.
your vitamin D up that
Yes.
carries you through the winter months when you don't get as much sunlight. So right
Absolutely.
now you got to get out in front of that sun. You need to get out in the sun at sunrise. You need to
Mhm.
ground. You need to actually take them shoes off and get the pretty manicured toes inside the dirt. Got
Yes.
to put it inside the ground, and you got to ground yourself. Put it inside the grass. You got to, look up to the sunlight in the morning. You got sun gaze.
Mhm.
You have to tap in with the universe. You feel me? You want the universe, spirit, to carry you through everything you're doing, but you're not carrying yourself out to greet the universe in the morning and say, I'm rising with you, son. I'm recharging myself inside the earth. Because the thing is, we're electrical beings. We're sending. That's why there's so much energy trapped up in the feet, and why they're always saying, you gotta do feet massage because energy gets trapped up in your feet because we're wearing
Yes.
rubber soles and it's not allowing the energy to go out. So our energy is
Mm.
supposed to, just like we have meridians in our hands and energy is constantly coming out of our hands at all times. This the right hand pushes out energy. The left hand pulls in energy.
Yes.
So it's a balance. Our feet do the same thing.
Mm-hmm.
And because we got rubber soles, it's not allowing the energy to flow as well.
Yes.
We're getting a lot of
And the
energy trapped
and
down
the,
there.
yes, and the foot to breathe. Your feet have to breathe as well.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
But grounding is the perfect answer for that.
Mm-hmm.
Going outside in the morning, putting your feet in the grass, and grounding yourself and taking deep rhythmic breaths using
Mm-hmm.
abdominal, diaphragmic. In breath, stomach blows up. Out breath, you pull your stomach as close to your spine as possible.
Mm-hmm.
In and out. Repeat. Put your feet in the soil. It's so important.
And get as much sun as possible.
As much sun as possible. It's
Mm-hmm.
important. Vitamin D. That's why doctors be telling people a vitamin D deficient and they want to take vitamin D pills. Vitamin D comes from the sun. Just go out, get your sunlight.
Mm-hmm.
It's important. It's one of the it's one of the biggest energy factors that it is, because all energy comes from the sun. Even the plants you're eating, through the process of photosynthesis, they took in that energy from the sun and made food with it.
Absolutely.
And that food is symbiotic with our system, and that's why we're supposed to be eating plants.
Mm-hmm.
Animals are animations. That means they're animated by something. Something that's animating the animal. What's animating the animal? Same thing that's animating everything else on this physical existence. What's animating the animal?
Energy.
Energy. Ka, ba, spirit, call it what you want. Energy. And we animations as well. So we're acting, it's funny to call it animalistic to, just go and kill off things, but we're animals and we're the ones doing most of the killing off things.
Mm-hmm.
You feel me? These other animations, it's not really for us to kill them off. We driving things extinct from our greed and want to eat
Mm-hmm.
another animation when we have the perfect symbiotic food source that was put on this earth for us.
Mm-hmm.
What do they say in the Bible? They called it the Garden of Eden, right?
Yes.
what they have in the garden. They got the
Plant.
veggies, the plants, you know, the
Yes.
they got the fruits and stuff in the garden, the fruit trees, all that good stuff. Because that's what a garden is. It's a place where you grow food to eat.
Absolutely. All
So if
right.
God started us out in the Garden of Eden, I don't know how we got into the butcher shop that is most of these societies nowadays.
Absolutely.
So we gotta get back to the garden, y'all. We gotta go back to where we started at.
Yes.
Ah,
We
shit.
will. Ashe. Thank you, King, so much. And we appreciate you, and we appreciate all the input and our friends in the chat tonight. Others will probably join and watch later, but we appreciate all of you.
Ah, shit.
Ashe. All right, give thanks, everyone. Peace and divine love. Have a good
Peace and
evening.
love. Ah, shit.
Ashe.